When the 3.8 rating for the SummerSlam special came out, and knowing that Raw will go unopposed 7 days later on July 21st, the anticipation built to see where Raw stands in a rare opportunity to get the WCW viewers to sample their product. Raw, which put on one of its best ever programs in front of one of the hottest crowds in show history back in Canada, drew a huge 4.1 rating, the most watched WWF TV show in over a year and one of the highest rated Raws in history. With the product in general going to the next level in the last 3 weeks with the main event US-Canada storyline in addition to improved creative and formatting, the momentum was rolling for the company heading into tonight in front of a 13,000 sellout crowd in Pittsburgh, the largest crowd in Raw history, with the most optimistic in the company hoping to perhaps finally win the head-to-head battle with Nitro tonight after over 50 weeks, coming back to its regular time slot after a week out. After going off the air last week with a massive 4.7 rating, it was business as usual to start this week with a 2.8 to 2.3 rating gap as WCW opened with a big star power tag match with Ric Flair and Curt Hennig teaming against Bagwell and Norton, going against Raw's Hard Foundation promo to hype SummerSlam in 6 days, with Bret playing off the idea that tonight might be his final match in the US, taking on Patriot in the main event. With this week being the final full head-to-head competition as starting next Monday Raw moves an hour later to a 9 p.m. start time, with WCW having the first hour unopposed and Raw the second, giving both shows and especially Raw with the more loaded second hour, an opportunity to draw huge numbers during it. With ideas surfing in WCW for months of perhaps adding another hour to Monday nights. While seeing the numbers the WWF shows drew in the last 2 weeks, WCW planned to counter with a big announcement as Lex Luger came to the ring. Luger said that Hogan must defend the belt at least once every 30 days, and after talking to management, the decision was made to have Luger vs Hogan take place next week on TV days before their pay-per-view main event at Road Wild. Not giving Raw the free hour on their debut night by promoting a big 3-hour edition of Nitro from 8 to 11, on what is set to be a record-breaking night in the Monday Night Wars with WWF also coming off SummerSlam the night before. Flair came back out for a promo saying that Hennig is now officially a horseman, leading to him coming out to say that he's still a free agent, with Flair telling him that he might not want to say it on TV as he doesn't want his wife to think he's running around all night with an H. Both shows grew gradually in the first hour with WCW climbing to a 3.3 rating for the Flair-Hennig promo, along with Mongo and Benoit against the Texas Hangman with Hall and Nash calling into taunt Larry and Tony throughout, with Tony asking where they are, and Nash responding saying that they're at Tony's house watching the show on his black and white TV. Both shows' first hour peaked in the fourth quarter as Raw had Farouk vs Crush with Ahmed Johnson making his TV return with the Nation, along with a Patriot promo, while WCW had Chris Jericho vs Alex Wright going 6 minutes for the Cruiserweight title with Wright going over to win the belt. Meanwhile, in an interview during the week, Eric Bischoff responded and wasn't impressed by Raw's 4.1 rating last Monday, saying that they gave him the night, and he would be concerned if he was them about only drawing a 4.1, when the combined wrestling audience is between 6 to 7 rating. The top of the hour segment saw a rare situation as the Steve Austin and Dude Love vs Scott Wins tag match jumped over 600,000 viewers to a 3.3 rating, equaling the 3.3 on TNT for Page vs Syxx in addition to Malenko vs Hector Guerrero. making it the first time Raw didn't lose a quarter past the first segment since May. The tag match went 5 minutes with Owen and Bulldog at the announcer's table, ending up in a brawl with LOD coming out and Austin hyping SummerSlam in the final build to the match. At the same time, WCW had both matches going a combined 9 minutes with Hennig costing Page the match. With Raw usually staying in the same rating range for the entire show outside of rare spikes for some hyped segments and matches, the second hour on tonight's Raw jumping for the Austin Foley tag match but maintaining the audience throughout the entire second hour, peaking on the night with 3 separate 3.3 ratings, with the second hour despite still losing to WCW's 3.6, drawing one of Raw's highest opposed hours in history. After Bulldog challenged him on commentary during the previous segment for an arm wrestling match, Ken Shamrock came out with a table to accept the challenge. Next on Raw was Goldust vs Billy Gunn with Pillman coming out for the finish, building up to the stipulation of Pillman having to wear a dress next week if he loses on Sunday. In the same segment, the company aired a video package for the SummerSlam main event focusing on Bret Hart, Undertaker and referee Shawn Michaels for the final title match build-up, with Bret and Shawn both talking about Taker's star power and athleticism, with the majority of the pay-per-view program almost completely focusing on the Hart and Michaels feud with Taker and Bret barely interacting on TV. As Raw remained steady at the higher-than-usual viewership, WCW continued to climb for one of the most talked-about segments of the night, jumping over 500,000 viewers to a 3.7 rating for the second half of the Giant vs Muta match along with the follow-up segment, as Larry was back out to confront Bischoff at the announcer's table while dragging him to the ring, ending up with Giant choke slamming Eric to a huge pop. Shawn Michaels came out for a promo just before the main event, making several shoot references saying that he's not apologizing for anything regarding his comments in Canada last week, and that he's much safer here in the ring than he's back there, saying that he's not the most popular guy in the company and not here to win any popularity contest, telling McMahon that he's taking his place on commentary to watch his good buddy Bret Hart and Patriot starting just before the top of the hour went 9 minutes with Patriot going over in the surprise finish, with Vince on commentary saying that the USA Network extended their time and they're staying with the match until its conclusion. Going almost 10 minutes in the unopposed overrun with the show going off the air at 10:10 p.m., coming after also taking a 10-minute overrun last week that drew a big number for the 6-man flag match. A strategy usually implemented by WCW, with the company perhaps going long to condition viewers that from next week the second hour starts at 10 p.m. Coming off the momentum of the highest-rated show in over a year, Raw drew its highest opposed rating ever in the 2-hour format of the show with a 2.9 rating, with the gap from WCW of half a rating point the closest in months. WCW's main event saw the first ever Randy Savage vs Scott Steiner match, going 11 minutes with them brawling all over ringside before the Outsiders showed up attacking Rick, ending up with Giant coming out to call Nash to the ring for the hyped confrontation. with the show going off the air just as Nash was about to enter the ring to continue the slow build for the eventual Nash Giant pay-per-view match. With next week promoted as one of the biggest shows in company history, J.J. Dillon added to the Luger vs. Hogan main event, saying that next Monday Sting is gonna be there and will be offered a contract to wrestle his first match in almost a year. The Savage vs. Steiner match and post-match segment peaked the night with a 3.8 rating.